Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is CFI Munden, and if you guys like this content, if you guys can leave a like and subscribe, that would help a lot. Last night I was flying back from, I don't know if, I doubt most of you guys are familiar with it. It's a tiny municipal. It's called Mountain Home. We flew past Boise. We look down to our right. We see a bunch of emergency vehicles. We are on with Approach. Approach is dealing with this accident, and it turns out a Kit Fox ended up crashing into this stoplight right here, kind of doing a little bit of a miniature stall spin and then crashing right here on the side of this highway. So I'll just get straight to the point and show you guys this video, but it was pretty crazy last night. And thank you to Steve Murray, who actually got this video for us off of his dash cam. So it's kind of hard to see, but look up in this area, you'll see the Kit Fox come in, hit the light, and then crash right there by the side of the road.
Oh, I gotta take a picture. And I want to picture. Whoa! Plane just crashed right there.
It did?
Yes. Holy smokes.
Where?
Like a small little plane.
Yeah, small little plane, but be careful with the car. It's gonna hard crash with this.
Where did it go?
It's out here in front of us.
This guy's closed the road for those. That's okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see that little.
Are they okay?
Wow.
I mean, that guy's running. So was that guy.
That's a good idea. That's not coming to the top on the car. You can kill a lot of
No
people.
kidding.
Good thing we were just like waiting for a minute at our house. Oh my gosh.
We will leave. It's okay.
Wow.
You see that?
Okay, so that's the entirety of the video. Really good footage there. I mean, you just have the whole shots. You could see everything. So NTSB is going to dive into that. But what's interesting is you already hear the first responders responding to this accident. If you listen to the background, you can actually hear the sirens already going off, because I think that they had some warning that this might have actually, they predicted this was going to happen. I talked to some air traffic controllers, and the moment this guy started talking, they were already suspicious. I just want to make it very clear, okay, when I show you this ATC transcript right here, you're going to hear him kind of inebriated, okay? So we don't know if he was drunk, if he was having a diabetic episode, if he had a stroke, but what you're going to hear is he's very disorientated, very confused, and leading up to this crash is what happens. I'll show you that transcript in a second, but it happened right here, right off of the freeway, so the I-84 is right here. He came in and he hit this light and then crashed right here on the side of the road, okay? If we pull up the flight aware data and we zoom out, it looks like he was coming into 10 left. He was maybe 0.5 miles away, maybe 1 mile away from the runway, and then ended up crashing, falling way short of the runway. So let's go ahead and play this ATC transcript here, and you guys can hear for yourselves.
Boise, Boise, approach 129919er. Looking for for a full stop. 1220.
I'm sorry, the aircraft calling. Say again, please. That was completely, almost unreadable.
I understand. One for Papa Mike, one for for Papa Mike, one for looking for 220. One for Papa Mike.
And 1 for Papa Mike, Big Sky Approach Squad 0312.
Let's go 3219, turn left to Delta Alpha, the ramp, on our ground.
Delta Alpha ramp, hold on our ground, Skyline 3219, good night.
To 0312, please say your altitude.
Okay, so nothing coming back from 1 Papa Mike yet, or 4 Papa Mike, but what you can hear is that he didn't say nothing. I mean, he said nothing. He at first he was really confused at what airport he was at. He said Twin Falls. He couldn't say his tail number back. He couldn't say the runway. Pretty much nothing. The ATC, the controller immediately comes back and has red flags. He knows something's up. He doesn't know what's going on, but something is definitely awry here. Still no response. ATC is probably already having a conversation in the tower about this. In fact, I know they are because I talked to one of them. Still nothing. 20, 30 seconds. That's a long time not to respond to ATC.
4 Papa Mike, your radar contact, say your altitude and type aircraft.
Okay, radar contact. So he probably put in his transponder code. I'm surprised that even happened.
3000, one for Papa Mike, square roll, one for Papa Mike, 1-2.
Number 14 Papa Mike, I understand 4,400. Verify you have information, Juliet at Boise.
Information, Juliet, Boise, Papa Mike.
Number 4 Papa Mike, Roger. And state type aircraft, what type of aircraft are you?
We're Kip Fox, square roll, one for Papa Mike.
Number 14 Papa Mike, say your request.
We're going to be parking at Jackson's, one for Papa Mike.
Number 14 Papa Mike, make left traffic, runway 10 left.
Left traffic, 1010 left, Papa Mike.
Okay, so at this point, the controller says make left traffic 10 left. Parking at Jackson. Apparently, he flew out of Jackson Jet Center pretty often. I think he's pretty familiar to the area. I've seen this tail number pop up a bunch of times. I've never seen this individual, but the question is begged is what actually happened with this. So I should have probably led with this, but they both ended up surviving so far. One had serious injuries, one had minor injuries. There was 2 passengers on board. And if you go to the Reddit thread, which Reddit is on it, right, they already broke apart this and they're already dissecting the ATC audio here. But here's a Kit Fox on the side of the highway here. You can see some individuals being gurneyed out. The Kit Fox is completely crumbled here. You can kind of see the cockpit pulled in on itself. You have some ripples here in the back. Aircraft obviously completely destroyed. But as of now, the last report that I've actually heard is that serious injuries to one, minor injuries to another. How that will develop over time, I'm not sure. If you go into the ATC, into the thread here, it says that one individual was taken to the hospital and one was not taken to the hospital. So their assumption behind that is that one was taken to the police station or something like that because he was drunk, okay? But we don't actually know what happened yet. And this, an Ace Ranger right here says that pilot sounded very much like he was having a stroke, very drunk, or has experienced other kinds of medical episodes, okay? So the first thing when I was listening to this was, I'm like, okay, this guy sounds drunk. However, I recall 2 stories that I actually listened to. I can't remember who was the YouTuber, but it was actually an individual who had a crack in his exhaust shroud. So he was actually getting CO poisoning the entire time. And he sounded exactly like that, like slurring, confused, couldn't say back his tail number. So I'm like, that could be a possibility. However, in that particular flight, and I've had CO poisoning before too, it takes place generally over a longer period than 20 minutes. I'm not saying it can't happen in 20 minutes, it definitely can, but generally that takes place over a longer period of time. You don't always notice it happening, but I don't know. So that's a possibility. And then somebody actually mentioned something that this is what somebody sounds like when they're going into, I don't know, diabetic shock, or they're having an issue with their blood sugar. They will tend to sound kind of drunk. Same thing with a stroke victim. They kind of sound like they could be drunk too. I think most people are going to deduce this down to him being drunk, but we don't really know. We're kind of just opening up the discussion here. So I want you guys to let me know what you think. I'll just read a few comments here and we'll end this up. Cloudbreaker says, the duality of man in these comments, quote, he was bliss, or perhaps he was having a medical episode. This guy responds, perhaps he is having a medical issue is the politest way of saying that guy sounds shit-faced. And of course, you know, he did sound shit-faced, but we actually, like I said, don't know what happened here. So, man, he's so hard to understand. Yep. Dude sounds absolutely trashed. Pilot, very wrong sounding here. Drunk, medical issue. So it's really 2 discussions is, was this guy drunk or was he having a medical issue? Everyone's saying the pilot sounds drunk. To my ear, he sounds inexperienced and overwhelmed. He is only half listening to ATC because he is overloaded. I don't think that's the case here. 1, he's flying a Kit Fox. 2, there is nothing really happening here. You shouldn't be overwhelmed with getting basic instructions like 10 left, make left traffic. That's not really something to overwhelm a pilot, especially in a Kit Fox. I'm saying Kit Fox because generally more experienced pilots are going to fly Kit Fox, you know, sometimes. Why on earth would you get into a plane with anyone who's slurring their speech? I wouldn't get into a car with someone who's acting that way. They're lucky to be alive. Yeah, I mean, you could easily break this story in 1,000 pieces. Maybe they were both drunk. Maybe one was inebriated halfway through the flight but took off just fine and then started having a medical episode. We just really don't know yet. But maybe they weren't slurring like that when they got into the plane. I know he sounds drunk as hell, but I've also heard people talking like that when they were having a stroke. So It seems to be pretty split here, okay? We're not gonna know what happened until the NTSB investigates, but anyways, yeah, crazy night last night. I was actually, if you listen to the full ATC transcript, it's like 30 something minutes long, you can actually hear me pop in 77 whiskey, and I think I was like canceling flight following or something like that, or I just picked it up. But anyways, crazy night last night. Let me know what you guys think. I'm glad that both of these people made it out, and I'm glad no one else on the ground was hurt also, because that would be just a tragedy on top of the tragedy already. So anyways, guys, yeah, one Papa Mike, hope you guys are good, and I will see you guys for the next video.